Dinner in Hell Band.
Oh my God. Hot Licks.
Man,
did I already say Hot Licks?
I don't think so. Hot Licks strikes me as a new one.
Hot Licks. Isn't that the guitarist's nickname, Hot Licks Houlihan, when he was in college?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. I think we'll go with that. Hot Licks.
A bunch of session musicians. This audience is friggin' amped.
Oh, yeah, they're really riled up today.
Last episode with the Ling Chi 1,000 Cut Death episode, freaking had a bunch of women cheering at the back of that one. There we go. Yeah, I heard it. I didn't realize how many were there when we taped it, but listening back with my family.
Yeah, the crowd is pretty deep. It's hard to see all the way back there.
Yeah, I mean, we like to keep the lights low and chill.
Yeah, so it's nice and ambient.
Shoot.
Well, give a shout out. Right now, we've got our Dinner in Hell correspondents are on the road, getting some photographic evidence. Some of the stuff that we've talked about around here, they're over in Italy right now, taking pictures for the show. They're going to Pompeii this weekend. If you'll remember that episode, checking back to it.
Mount Vesuvius, Europe's only volcano. Is that the one you're talking about?
Hell yeah. Bad Vibrations, if I'm not mistaken, episode 9.
I'm pretty sure we are going to be appearing on a podcast for the second time, Shakecast.
Oh, what's up? We love Shakecast around here.
I want to say, if we time this right, that the way this works out is we're going to be doing a 3-part Nazi volume to our Nazi series. We covered Hitler the Man, and then we're going to do the Holocaust. That we will appear on Shakecast the Sunday before that episode launches. So
okay,
like September, it'll be on Shakecast on September 2nd or something like that. I don't know. They do their show on Sundays. See Scotty and Larry over there.
Yeah, go ahead. They're incredible over there.
See us, maybe we'll see E-Rock. Okay, man. But all right, so what are we? Who are we? We'd already mentioned another podcast. We didn't even mention our own.
Welcome back for another exciting edition of the Dinner in Hell podcast. That is where two amateur historians talk about the atrocious underbelly of history. I am one of your co-hosts, Brad the Impaler, and with me, as always, Ron Maiden.
Hello, and thank you for having me once again. I'm glad to be here.
Ron, what are we talking about today?
Well, you gotta imagine me putting my fingers up like bunny ears, gonna do the quotation sign. We're gonna talk about the Bender family.
Okay, foreshadowing.
Yeah, the family is in quotations because they're known as the Bloody Benders, the Bender family. But we'll give you their whole freaking rundown on them.
Yeah, well, the Bender family, if you thought H.H. Holmes was America's first serial killer, you'd be wrong, because these guys were getting to work before he was.
I wouldn't think of H.H. as the first. Did we say he was?
No.
Yeah, I would think there's probably all kinds, like out in the wild woods. There's probably some sick asshole out there, like fur trader. He just loves killing.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, maybe him and Jack the Ripper are kind of the first modern ones. Big time press coverage and shit like that.
Pretty sure Davy Crockett was known to wear a bunch of ears hanging from his necklace.
Yeah, but they liked him.
That's a little Dinner in Hell fun fact about Davy Crockett.
Yeah, so the Bender family, they were getting down on the American frontiers. They were active from 1869 to 1873 in Labette County, Kansas. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that would be the president would be this.
Grant.
Yeah, the whole thing. This whole story takes place during the Grant administration. Now, how about we start off with a little bit of background about the country and the people that we're talking about here?
Yeah, like this is Civil War times, right?
Yeah, really close to the end of the Civil War. Right after the Civil War ended, the United States federal government evicted the Osage tribe of Native Americans from the area that is now known as Labette County in Kansas.
They evicted them?
Yeah, they were like, they put them on a reservation. That's what they were doing then.
Like, God damn it. I'm sorry, Osage tribe, but you haven't paid rent. And you know what happens? This is
Kansas.
Yeah, we own Kansas now. We declared that we own it now. So, sorry.
Yeah. Well, John Benders, Sr. and Jr., registered a plot of 160 acres, butting right up to the only road heading into the open west at that time, the Great Osage Trail. They did this in 1870.
1870?
Yep.
All right, down in Kansas.
No, so it was open to homesteaders. So, I mean, it'd be nice now if you could still just go into, like, the Secretary of State or whatever and be like, yeah, I'll take 160 acres. Thank you. Like, now I own it.
Right, for like $12.
No, for nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, you would be given like a huge chunk of land provided you made improvements. So like you had to like build
Develop
a house, build a fence, like
Yeah.
make a barn. Like as long as you did that shit, you owned it for free.
Nice.
Now the price of that is genocide basically. So it's probably a good thing that we don't do that anymore. But yeah, that's what they were up to, and that's how these people got their hands on what would become the Bender Inn.
I mean, genocide's still happening. Don't get us wrong, but I mean, not at the hands of white man, Native American man, right? I don't know.
Yeah, now
unless
we're
you're trying
just,
to lay pipelines down.
Yeah, unless you're trying to get gas from one place to another, then you can feel free to trample on them a little bit more, twist the knife.
I have a little trivia question I want to bust on you now that we're talking about Kansas. I think this is a good time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a state name in the United States that contains another state's name entirely. It's a fun little trivia question. Bust on somebody. You think of all the state names.
Mm-hmm.
One state has an entire other state's full name within it.
What is Arkansas?
Nice. Very good. There, you just learned something. Dinner and Hell lesson number 2.
Yeah, that's
We covered Davy Crockett and his ear necklace, and now we covered Arkansas.
So John Bender and John Bender arrive at their new homestead in October of 1870. There, they get to work because you gotta do shit when you're a homesteader. So they built a cabin and a barn with a corral and a well. That now having gotten things ready, in 1871, Elvira, also known as Ma Bender, and Kate Bender, the fourth and final member of our Bender family gang, they're all there now.
Ma. Can we call her Ma? You called her Ma. I'm thinking Ma. Ma and Pa.
I'm thinking like the Ma Barker gang.
In my head, I'm going to think Ma.
All right. I don't know if I can remember to do that, but I'll try.
No, it's okay. I've already brainwashed myself.
Now, see, Elvira and Kate got to work too. They planted a 2-acre vegetable patch and apple orchard.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're growing stuff. It seems like the normal homesteader's dream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems that
The Bender
way.
Farm. Welcome to the Bender Farm. We got fresh produce. Step right up.
Seems like a wonderful, welcoming place, right?
Farmer's Market. Bender's Farmer Market.
Well, continuing with that welcoming theme, they converted the cabin into a general store and inn they took a canvas wagon cover and split the cabin in half. So they had a small rear section that was all of them lived together in. And then the rest of it was, half store, half kind of diner. Maybe a couple cots.
Okay, so it all breaks down to how big is the actual physical cabin, because they split that in half with canvas. Nothing's more private than a sheet of canvas, am I right?
Oh, yeah. Total sound, privacy, and everything.
Yeah. So half this cabin has a canvas sheet going through the middle. Like, how big is the cabin? I mean,
Well,
it could be really small because shit was a lot smaller back then.
It's really small because this was a covered wagon canvas, so it's not bigger than a covered wagon. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so like twice the size of a covered wagon.
Yeah, that's probably about it.
And like we got Ma, Pa, Katie. Isn't there 4 of them?
Ma, Pa, John Jr.
Yeah,
and
Katie. Yeah, all shagging up in this little ass nasty. Okay.
Yeah. So the kitchen and the dining room were available to patrons at the inn. Now, what we know about Pa Bender, John Bender Sr., is that he was originally from either the Netherlands or Germany and spoke almost no English. When he did speak English, it was generally described as, more or less a guttural rumble that nobody could understand anyways.
Which is how Kansas, because Kansas, no one can really barely speak English in Kansas today. That all became from Pa Bender. Pa Bender started. At the time, he was the only one that couldn't speak. It just caught on.
But he was just like the first dude there. So they just told you,
so oh no, wait, lower. Oh, this is gonna be a great quote meme for Twitter in the future. Pa Bender,
just like a bunch of lowercase G's and R's.
That's probably not rumble enough.
That sounds pretty good to me.
I wasn't very guttural. I need to be more guttural.
Like Corpse Grinder or something. No, not Corpse Grinder, Chris Barnes.
Right.
Yeah. You're too much Corpse Grinder right now, not enough Chris Barnes, I think, for Pa Bender.
You're going to have to Google that, folks, if you don't know who the frig Brad's talking about. I do, because I have a weird taste in music.
Now, Ma Bender pretended she only spoke a little English, but she definitely spoke English. She understood everything people were saying around her. Because the second somebody would even mildly insult her, she would snap and go crazy. Obviously, having understood what they were talking about. But she hated everyone, so she was just trying to keep everyone distant.
She has a sweet nickname?
She sure did. She was known by the neighbors by the nickname of She-Devil.
She-Devil.
I imagine if you get the nickname She-Devil in Labette County, Kansas, when there's probably like tops, 50 people like that you're going to socialize with on any kind of regular basis in the middle of fucking nowhere. Hundreds, maybe hundreds tops, certainly. This is like this is the frontier now at this period in time.
How can you run a business and be known as She-Devil? I mean, you got to be nice. There's only 50 people living there.
It's not like they can, nip over to the Circle K. They don't have any choice. They're at the end of the quote-unquote civilized world.
Where do you keep the feed? Next to the feed.
This place is 10 feet wide. You can find it yourself.
Turn around, look down.
Yeah.
She-Devil.
Now, John Jr. bucks the trend. He's about 25 years old, really handsome. He spoke English with a slight German accent. He was, however, known to laugh uproariously for no reason and at inappropriate times. Some people called him a half-wit, so I guess he had a cute nickname, too.
There was you know how people are sensitive now to the word retard?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, retarded really means, just means slow, if you look at the definition. So, well, anyways, people are it's out of show, like Hollywood now, people aren't saying it anymore. There was a day when half-wit was, shamed. Mm-hmm. They're like, do we have to call him half-wit? Can we just call him retarded? Half-wit evolved into retarded. Look, he's just a little bit slower than you guys, so can we just at least call him retarded and stop with the half-wit? Half-wit's a little... It's my son you're talking about.
Yeah, half-wit is pretty...
And now we're like, can you stop calling her retarded? She's mentally handicapped.
I don't even think they like that anymore.
Disabled? Mentally disabled?
Don't like that one either.
What is it?
I'm trying to remember.
Challenged. something challenged?
I think that one's old too. I'm trying to think.
Like
Neurodivergent.
neurodivergent?
Neurodivergent.
Nice.
Because it
It's
doesn't
clean.
it doesn't have any negative connotations.
It's the exact scientific
So
situation.
the corresponding word for a person without any psychological or mental issues would be neurotypical.
Okay. So are you saying that a person that in 1982 was like mentally retarded is now neurodivergent?
Yeah. Well, because like disabled is like an official thing. So like if you were intellectually disabled, that would mean that due to some underlying symptom, like say Down syndrome or something, you're not capable of you qualify for Social Security disability. That would be what the only like I think proper application for the word disabled.
Okay.
I think I don't know for sure.
Man, I had another thought I wanted to clear up. Oh, so am I right though? Like a person that's mentally retarded be called neurodivergent or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So now would a person that's like schizophrenic be neurodivergent?
Yep.
So that's not very specific.
No,
To
but
what
you'd
they're-
say schizophrenic.
Like if you had a schizophrenic child, they could probably handle themselves like in the bathroom and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you had one with like
Down syndrome or something, maybe
there's times
not.
when you have to like wipe asses.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But,
that-
I mean, then you just talk about their specific condition.
like I have a neurodivergent child at home.
Yeah, but you would say,
They're like,
well,
"What's
I have
wrong
a-
with your kids? He fucking yelling out swear words all the time." Fucking
Tourette's.
Tourette's.
Yeah,
Like,
but I think you
no,
would
he's
just
not like
say. I think you could just say like my child has schizophrenia.
Right. Yeah.
Like I don't know why you wouldn't just do that.
Right. Man, we're just freaking covering all over the place here on Dinner in Hell. So this came from the half wit comment. John Jr. was known as half wit.
Yeah, I think they probably thought he was retarded, but
He was handsome.
I don't think you. I
and
don't.
spoke English and German. Right?
When they say he laughs at inopportune times, I think they're misinterpreting that as stupidity when it's actually psychopathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you'll hear stories about the other people who laugh like inappropriately at the wrong times are people like Theodore Bundy. He was
Okay.
known to do that as well. So I think maybe you're seeing a little bit
Or me.
more Ted Bundy than
I've laughed.
Porky.
I've left. We've discussed eating suckling baby, and I probably had a chuckle.
Yeah, but we were also making jokes. I'm talking about like
How do you know?
if you were walking down the street with me and we saw like a roadkill of a raccoon and I just started laughing like crazy, would you think that was because I was stupid or because I was evil?
Evil?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Did I do good?
Yeah. I think that's what I think the deal is though.
Stupid would be like getting out of the car and like putting your hands all in it and getting germy and shit. That'd be stupid. But just laughing at it, that'd be that's just your basic evil.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what they're making a mistake with. I think John Jr. is evil. I don't think he was stupid.
If you ever see a raccoon dead on the road, you'd say to the person in the car, like, "Oh, that's a terrible place for a nap, raccoon."
Yeah. Or I do appreciate sort of the dark humor when someone leaves like a get well balloon next to it.
Free cat. Free cat sign next to the dead cat.
Ooh, that's
Woo.
a tough one.
Okay, Kate. Let's talk about Kate.
All right, well, Kate, she was also described as attractive like her brother. She was around 23 years old. She circulated flyers regarding her spiritualist services, like conducting seances or psychically predicting the future. She also was an advocate of free love 100 years before the 1960s brought it into style.
Nice, Kate. Party.
And they also, the townsfolk, described her and her mother as practicing witchcraft.
They burn people for that.
Yeah.
Tie you up.
Mm-hmm.
Breathing smoke. Frickin' 23. Conducting seances.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it starts off that way, kind of. But as as you may have guessed, because they're a topic on this show, eventually that pastoral, lovely vision of, homestead life is going to turn sour somehow.
What kind of future do you think she's predicting to, like, her customers? Like, oh, I believe it will snow.
One day.
Yeah. She sees, like, the leaves turning color. She's like, in 2 months, there will be snow on the ground. Like,
yeah. Oh, shit.
No, they had freaking calendars by then. This is like, we had presidents and shit. So, yeah.
Soon, travelers will come through. It's like, this is the only road to the frontier.
She's like, I predict a family will go missing traveling through. No way. She was right.
I think she read that foreshadowing book.
You will find... Never mind. Yeah. Sorry, I was about to, like, spill more of the show. I had a schedule.
Well, this story sort of... Let's start off at the end. And I think you could call this, like, the end of the beginning.
So we set up the story of the Benders with who they are and their backgrounds, what they look like.
You got an idea of their outward appearance, what their neighbors sort of think about them.
So now we're going to kick it into high gear.
Yeah, so let's take this to 1872. As you remember, this is still inside Grant's administration.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite administrations.
Now,
just kidding. I have no clue.
A man named George Launcher, and his infant daughter set out for the West. They were going to settle in Iowa after the death of his wife, and unfortunately for them, they ran into the Benders on the Osage Trail. Now, so Launcher didn't make it to Iowa. The difference between some of the other people that may have encountered the Benders in their travels is that he had really, really important friends, or friends of friends, I guess. When he was expected in Iowa, and when he didn't show up, his old neighbor and his close friend Dr. York came looking for him. I mean, so he's like, "Fuck, haven't gotten that letter from Launcher. Like, something must have happened. I gotta go find my buddy."
Yeah.
If you were traveling out west and you went missing, I would definitely come looking for you.
Thanks. I would search Google for you.
Yeah.
I would look for clues.
That's good enough. So, Dr. York had a rough idea of where he was going, and he was questioning along the way, like, "Hey, did you see this guy and his baby daughter? See the guy?" I mean, that's probably pretty memorable. There's probably not a lot of man and infant girl
with
traveling parties going out into the frontier. So he was able to trace his steps, and he successfully did that, unfortunately, right into the Bender's cottage.
He's like, "Oh, you guys sell produce?
Yeah.
Apples?
Hey, have you seen this guy and his infant daughter?" Now, Dr. York, as you may have guessed, also went missing. However, he had two really, really powerful brothers. One was an Army colonel, and one was a United States senator.
Oh.
And they knew exactly where he was going, and they knew all of his plans. So they came looking. They funded and participated in an all-out search. So they were on his trail. They were following directly behind him. They knew exactly where he went. And Colonel York personally led a search team of over 200 people to Labette County. Now, that's a lot of people.
Hell yeah. In a grid formation?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. They probably were just running wild. I don't know if they figured out that kind of search formation yet.
Business is booming at the Benders. 200 people come to town. They're like, "We're all out of freaking apples, man."
Yeah.
They had 2 bushels. Gone. Oh, Pa, relax, Pa. We'll pick more, Pa. Hey, John Jr., who do you think I am? Katie? I'm John Jr. This is calm and relaxed, John Jr. This is Katie. I'm 23-year-old Katie.
I know the future.
I'm all about free love, futures, and seances. I'm 23. Did I mention that?
Oh, we got them all
Shit.
in there now.
What about Ma? We haven't talked about Ma. Ma probably has like a cigarette with
I hate you. I'll fucking cut you.
She Devil Ma has like a cigarette with the ash. It's like 3-inch ash. Ah, fuck it. Like Ma. She got like a gut. Yeah. Like Ma.
Like somehow like decrepit, but also capable of terrible violence.
Ma's got like the osteo going in the back shoulders, behind the neck. Almost. Polish lady. My mom. I'm not describing my mom, no. I was about to say my mom's Polish, but there's a lot of people in my town that have that look.
So Colonel York was the guy who was there looking for his brother. And he even, directly questioned the Benders about, a guy getting threatened with a knife by Ma Bender. So he had heard some concerning stories about these people, and it was basically, he was closing in on what happened to his brother. They organized a meeting at the Harmony Grove Schoolhouse, which, John and John Bender both even attended, where they were talking about, what are we going to do? Like, we know they came here. We got to find them. Like, how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
Well, at the meeting, they decided that they were going to search every single individual homestead for evidence of, the people that were missing.
Mm-hmm.
They may have been particularly interested in the Bender family because they'd gotten, quite a few concerning, reports from people in the neighborhood. Like, hey, these people are fucking crazy, by the way.
Freaking she-devil.
Mm-hmm.
Did you mention that she threatened a woman with a knife?
I think so.
Okay. I'm talking about Ma Bender.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, before they could begin the searches, the weather turned south. I don't know what Kansas, maybe some kind of like dust storm that like kept them all pinned down. Tornadoes, or just really bad thunderstorms. I don't know, but they couldn't do the search.
Locust flying through.
Plague.
Yeah, like, could be anything in Kansas. Who knows? Pretty sure Brad Pitt's from Kansas.
I thought he was from like North Dakota or some shit like that.
No, because Richard Christie, the drummer, and he's on the Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
He's talking about how he grew up in the same town as Brad Pitt, I think.
Oh, maybe then.
And he's from Kansas.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So when the weather finally cleared and they could conduct the searches, they went to the Bender family pretty early on. I think they were prime suspects after having talked to these fucking people.
They weren't like fifth house searched.
Yeah,
they were like beeline.
We better go right for the Bender place.
Yeah.
Oh, when they got there, no Benders.
What?
Yeah, they had taken some clothing and food and just bugged the fuck out. There wasn't nobody there. Which was, probably a pretty smart move by them. Because when they examined the inn, they found a few things that were pretty concerning.
Yeah?
Yeah. One of the things was the canvas that was separating, the front quarters from the back was covered, kind of obviously in bloodstains.
It's hard to get that out back then. They didn't have lemon and tonic.
No. I don't think there was much tonic water.
I don't think they had lemons back then either. I don't think they were invented yet. Those came later.
They also found a trap door that was nailed shut and concealed underneath a bed. They'd tried to hide it a little bit. When they examined the trap door, when they pried it open, they found I don't know how else to describe this other than a blood-soaked nightmare pit. The whole thing was just completely blood-soaked into the dirt, like, everywhere.
I'm sure there's bugs and shit, flies.
Oh, yeah.
This has got I think I just added a detail we didn't even think about till now.
No, yeah,
this
that's
cabin's
new.
probably full of bugs and flies and
Yeah,
stink.
it's probably gross as shit. It probably smells horrible.
Ugh.
Like a slaughterhouse.
Like this investigation, like the family having to like go on the run.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think Katie and all of her future visions ever saw this coming? Like, wouldn't she have known that this is coming? Like, Katie, Mom and Pa are like, "You dumb bitch, you ain't got no powers, Katie."
And she's like, we got to get out of here now.
I told you they're coming. Y'all didn't listen. Like, Katie, goddammit. Where's John Jay? What about Junior? I don't hear him. Oh, Junior, don't laugh right now. This is not the time, Junior. This is an inappropriate time. Ma.
Oh, man.
Okay.
So their search continued, and in the always freshly plowed garden, they found some more stuff. Namely, over the next course of the days, 10, human bodies.
Oh.
Including Dr. York and Mr. Launcher and his infant daughter.
And at least we can give you, if we haven't given you enough awful details, Brad, would you like to shed a little light on how the daughter was killed before she was buried?
Gladly. The daughter was not killed before she was buried.
What are you trying to say?
She was buried alive. They killed the old man, but they found the daughter underneath him so they just put her in the grave before they put him in, and she was alive at that time.
I swear, if I ever find these benders, I know they're. I think it turns out they're on the loose still. We're gonna get to that, but if I ever find these benders, they're dead.
Yeah, definitely.
Dead benders coming for you, Murdoch. Coming for you.
There was also another child, an 8-year-old child, who had died the same. Now, the causes of death for some of the other bodies appeared to be a combination of blunt force trauma to the head and slicing of the throat.
So they knock you out, and then they cut your throat? Yeah.
Yeah, you really didn't want to stop at this inn if you were traveling out to the west.
Yeah, keep going. You want to pass right through Osage, old Osage Road.
Mm-hmm. Now, the one final thing about the bodies is that they were also described in the papers at the time as indecently mutilated. Now, I'm not sure what that means. I don't know what in the world that's an 1870s euphemism for, but it sounds like real bad. Like, it sounds like sick shit, like serial killer shit.
Indecently mutilated is probably
like post-mortem genital mutilation
Like
is what my mind jumps to.
I was going to say privates, but yeah, genitals. Genitals will work fine.
Yeah, I think the word indecent sort of leads you to believe that. But they may have just been, like, butchered.
I
think they'd also call that indecent.
I thought they just, like, carved bad words in their bodies. Like, bitch.
Shit.
Like, that's just indecent. Shit.
Yeah. Damn. Oh, man.
Cockamamie. They wrote cockamamie along the leg of a victim. That's indecent.
Or like, but we got, what are the swears even in the 1870s? Like fucking corn flabbit or some bullshit.
Cockamamie. What the fuck I think I'm doing? Ma Bender.
Yeah, so they were able to take this evidence and reports that they got from other people in the community and some people who made narrow escapes that were able to sort of form the description of exactly how they operated, their modus operandi. Now, one dude, he got there and he refused to sit in the chair because of all the obvious bloodstains on the canvas. So he's like, yeah, I'm not sitting... Like, I'm not rubbing up against bloodstains while I eat dinner. I'm going to sit on this side of the table. So as soon as he, made it clear that that was his firm decision, Ma Bender attacked him with a knife. She was just like, ah! just sprung at him with a knife.
Is that John Jr.?
Yeah. So
Ma's chasing the guy around the table with a knife, like, John Jr.'s busting out laughing.
That's a real knee slapper. So he fought her off and fled. He ran. Smart guy. Even a Catholic priest had a run-in with the Benders at one point.
I heard it was Hans Schmidt. He was just like, I like what you're doing here.
Just wanted to come take a look. Say I'm a big fan.
Hey, I'm a Dinner in Hell alum myself.
Yeah.
I have my own episode. First priest ever executed in American soil.
Have any time travelers come back and told you about your episode yet?
Well, I can't understand what you're saying there, feller. Your low guttural rumbles are... Hans Schmidt was a foreigner, too. You goddamn foreigners coming to our country. Friggin' Benders, Schmidts. Sons of bitches. That bitchin' in New Orleans.
They're all foreigners.
Truffaut. Madame Truffaut in New Orleans.
They're all white people.
God damn it, vermin. Vermin of the earth.
Yeah, kinda.
So what happened to the priest?
Oh, yeah. Don't forget what we were talking about for a second. He saw a paw bender concealing a hammer. Like, if I see somebody trying to hide a hammer from me, I'm getting the fuck out of that place, too. This guy, head on a swivel, and I like it. I mean, what do you think if you see somebody like, oh, don't mind this, there's nothing here, like putting a hammer behind their back?
In all fairness, as records show, that Pa was trying to hide the hammer up his ass. So I think that is what signaled the priest to like get the hell out of there. Is like the hammer was hanging out of Pa's back end.
I would run from that too.
And the priest is like, this isn't. I gotta get the hell out of here.
That wasn't it either, though. Two men who had stopped for dinner decided to eat at the shop counter instead of at the table. Which, I mean, I'm having even trouble imagining this because it's probably like back to back, right? This tiny ass shack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were like, no, we'll eat at the counter, and she's like, eat at the fucking table. And they're like, nah, the counter's fine.
We're counter guys. We like leaning.
And then they described Pa Bender and John Jr. coming out from behind the canvas, like menacingly, like they didn't know they were back there. So they got the hell out of Dodge. They just turned around and ran right out the door.
Is it true that John Jr. had like a house plant, like he was hiding behind it, like hiding behind it, like camouflage, like we can see you, menacing ass.
Yeah,
we're out of here.
Well, they couldn't at first.
Ficus tree.
He was camouflaged, but he couldn't stop laughing.
Like
someone stirred the soup, and he just let rip laughing.
They're like, why is Pa so menacing? And she's like, that's just Pa's relaxed paw. Now, he's not even, you just think of it as menacing because he's normally menacing.
He looks like that when he's sleeping.
Yeah, that's his happy paw. This isn't even, you have no idea. Wait till you see menacing paw.
Wait a minute. Why am I going to see him?
I don't know.
Yeah, but so from that, combined with the evidence, this is how it would go down. The guest would be given a seat of honor at the dinner table. That seat just happened to mean that their back was touching this canvas.
Stab right through it?
No, not at first.
Because you ruined the canvas?
Yeah, you don't want to cut through there.
Yeah.
The first thing that they would do is John Jr. or John Sr., Pa, would be behind the canvas. And after Kate had been distracting the victim with, I would assume, either her charisma as, a spiritual performer or with her, feminine wiles, John would crack a hammer against the guy's head from behind the curtain, just up against the curtain, so they could never see it coming. But they could see where it was because he's touching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they'd smoke him on the head with a big, probably fucking mallet.
Yeah, like putting horseshoes on the horse hoof kind of hammer.
Yeah, and then generally Ma Bender, boy, she does love those knives, would slit the victim's throat. They'd be dumped through a trap door in the floor into the blood-soaked nightmare pit.
where they would bleed out of their neck hole.
Down there in the pit, once they had them down there, they would be robbed naked, and they would be buried somewhere on the property. And at some point down there, I don't know, maybe it's in the nightmare pit, maybe it's when they're getting ready to bury them, that's when the indecent mutilation would occur. Yikes.
That's John Jr. I'm thinking it's John Jr. He's the kind of goofy one. He's half-wit. I mean, he's probably the one that doesn't have like the logical like sense of right and wrong. So he's probably the one going, "I want to chop this off."
Yeah, probably. I've always thought that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based on Ed Gein. That's what everyone always says, but it seems like almost it's more based on this.
I was thinking the at least the reboot of Hills Have Eyes, where the gas station guy would lead the travelers through the area that the freaking zombies lived in or whatever.
Yeah,
Not the zombies, but you know.
Or like they're
mutants.
like colluding with them and like there's tricks.
And then he would get like a box of their jewelry and like watches and video cameras, I guess, that he could sell for payment for it. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot like that.
Yeah. I feel like there's, these travelers had things on them, lockets and stuff. These travelers had things of value. They're not going to just bury them without, they're stripping them nude, so they're going through their pockets.
Yeah, all told, the haul for their killings was estimated at around $4,500.
Damn!
And some livestock. That's no small amount though, because if you account for inflation over their sort of year or 2 years of murdering, they made like $90,000.
So let me ask you this: you're sitting on a pile of money, $90,000, and you can't afford a new canvas to hang up that has blood stains all over it. You can't replace that canvas. That's freaking. What are they doing with the money? Why do they have? What's the $90,000 for?
That's the thing. Don't know.
Plus, they're selling apples, and whatever else,
making money,
and they have livestock.
They got a 2-acre vegetable patch.
You can sell milk.
Orchard.
Yeah. So these guys had money, and weren't spending the money they got from their killings.
Yeah, and they were, constantly offloading their shit. 12 people were eventually arrested for receiving stolen goods from the Benders.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 12 people around Labette County.
If you think about back then, like, how would you be able to prove that it was stolen or it belonged to someone else, unless it was like a horse that had a brand on it, or
something. It had to be something like that, but everything was also probably individually made. We're talking pre-industrial revolution. There wasn't really that much mass manufacturing.
Yeah.
Now, the Benders were gone, and all told, they would eventually be credited with as much as 21 murders. In this 1.5 year kind of time span, they killed 21 people. Eventually, they found the Benders' wagon a few miles away from the homestead. They must have been pretty slick, because they must have had a different wagon waiting that wouldn't be like traced to them, like modern day bank robbers. They have like 3 getaway cars set up ready to go. Well,
of the $90,000 of value that they obtained, maybe a brand new wagon, because people came in on a wagon, so they probably had a bunch of wagons. They probably sold wagons. That's probably the stolen property. Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of that they can probably identify, like, oh, this one was made by like Pitfield and Mason. It's stamped right there on the iron, 1862, and from Pennsylvania or some shit like that. Yeah, they can probably track exactly all that shit.
Or like wood burned, wood burned their name into it. But and you said they had a barn, so they could just put like this badass wagon in the barn, like no one would ever even see it.
And then they could go out like the night before and stash it far away. Yeah. The York brothers, Dr. York, one of their victims, his brother, the colonel, and the senator, put forth rewards to try and track down these bloody Benders. These rewards were, totaled upwards of, $40,000.
Wow.
In today's money.
Yeah.
But guess what? Zero positive identification of any of the Bender family members was ever reported after this point.
Never seen again?
Never
That's what I'm saying.
Seen or heard from
to this day.
again.
To this day, they could be freaking right around the corner from you.
Yeah, let's see.
If I ever see them, be curtains for them. I'm not talking canvas curtains, my friends. Red velvet curtains.
Why red?
Because that's my visual I'm trying to project when I say curtains for them.
I thought of the Red Room in the Black Lodge from Twin Peaks.
Yeah. I bet you're not the only one that thought that. I just don't watch Twin Peaks, so I can't say I thought that. I'm just saying, I imagine there's other people.
Probably.
Because it's a popular show.
It's a very good television program.
I'm watching Ozarks right now on Netflix.
I don't know anything about that. Is that good?
It's pretty cool. I like Jason Bateman, like in Hancock, when he's like working with Will Smith, and like I just like Jason Bateman. I guess I grew up watching him as a kid. We're probably the same, similar in age. And,
I really love Arrested Development.
Yeah, I didn't watch that, but he launders money, and he's got like Colombian drug lord bosses that like put his partner in a barrel, like killed his ass in front of him. Like, now he's got to move his family to Ozarks and launder this money through these businesses. And so shit doesn't go right.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and it's all catching up. Like the FBI's on the trail, Colombians. And then you got locals in the Ozarks that are like, this is our country. Like they're hillbilly fuckers that are like selling drugs. All kinds of shit's going on.
That sounds interesting. I'm going to check that out.
They give you, this Ozark show, they give you, here I am plugging Ozarks. What do they do for us? But they give you so much every episode. It's like you really move down the story fast. Like, oh, what the fuck is this person? Like, you just meet him and he's gone already. Like, it's crazy. But yeah,
it sounds good. I've been looking for a new show with Game of Thrones season about to end.
Oh.
I didn't. No spoiler. I didn't watch it yet. Yeah.
Game of Thrones. Okay, someone posed. I was looking up Game of Thrones memes to send to cheer somebody up. And it was a picture of Jon Snow, and it said "Song of Ice and Fire," and then below it said "Remove the G, mind blown." So, "Son of Ice and Fire," saying that. You remember the episode where Gilly said, "Oh, there was an annulment, and this guy had an annulment with this person," which kind of revealed that Snow was a Targaryen.
Yes.
This is season 7.
Yeah, I think we're
okay. So if you're
spoiler alert for like episode 4 of season 7 and beyond.
Yeah, there's a part where Gilly just says something off the cuff that's pretty huge that no one really like paid attention to.
Yeah, I was very frustrated by it, Sarah.
Yeah, someone made a meme for that. It was like, when Gilly says this and no one knows shit, like it shows a guy going crazy. Meaning Snow is a Targaryen of fire. Mm-hmm. And like the Starks were from the north, like ice, son of ice and fire.
Yeah.
Song of ice and fire.
Though, did you catch the other part from this season in the Citadel when Sam's talking and he's telling him, it's like, oh, you're writing a history of Robert's wars? Of the War of the Five Kings, like you're writing a history of that, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to call it the history of the War of this, blah blah blah, and he gives him like this bland ass title, and he's like, no, you need a better name for that history. It needs to be more poetic. A Song of Ice and Fire.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like what it was like. He was intimating that like what we're reading is written by Sam after the fact.
Okay.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me that shit. Someone's foot. I watch each episode twice. Mm-hmm. So, I try to pay attention to every little eye look, every comment, little finger, all that shit. Area.
Yeah, I haven't seen the one from yesterday yet.
I love how. Me neither. I love how the red bearded guy is interested in Lady Braun, the big woman. He's like, "Is the big woman coming?" He's like, "What?" Sorry to disappoint you, bro, but she's a little tied up.
Yeah.
Practicing sword fighting. So they were never found to this day.
Yeah, they were never located. You said, you might want to run into them, but I think they would be like 160 or, 180 years old. So you could probably take them if they show up. I think if a 180-year-old man hits me with a hammer, I'm probably not even going to feel it. It'll be like a feather tap. So I'm going to sleep okay tonight, and I think you should too. Now, several women were at different points arrested as either Kate or Elvira, but it was never them. Several vigilante groups claimed, like, hey, we killed them all. Give us that 40 grand. They were like, prove it. And they were like, duh, sorry, we can't prove it.
But they had other people's body parts. Like, here's Ma's head. They're like, that ain't Ma. They're like, oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Who is it then?
Oh,
she was bitchy. She was cranky.
Oh, did we just murder somebody?
She had horns. I thought she was a she-devil.
I think
that's a lamb.
They didn't have any bodies. They were just saying it. Like, actually, is Colonel York, is your fucking estate still around? Because we got him. Me and Ron today.
Yeah.
Right here in the studio.
We found the
We're
benders.
going to execute them live.
Yeah, we have the benders. They're in a fruit cellar.
Yeah, but other than that, they were never heard from again. Now, the real interesting thing about these benders, what would you say the most interesting thing about them is, Ron?
The fact that the most interesting thing is their the most interesting thing to me was probably that they didn't spend their money on like the new canvas divider. Like, it was covered in blood. It gave them away.
Yeah, it's
like if no one saw the blood splatter, they wouldn't even really think. I mean, besides their assholes to their customers.
Yeah, but I assume it was probably actually easily just be like, yeah, that's cow blood. Don't worry about it. It's old cow blood that's dried on there.
Yeah, but as far as hygiene goes, you're running a business. You don't want blood around.
That's true.
Sorry.
Now,
butcher doesn't walk around the store in his bloody apron.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
See, what I'd say is the ultimate interesting thing about them is that it turns out only two of them are related at all.
Who?
Kate and Elvira were the only two benders that were related to each other. You see, Elvira was, in fact, Kate's mom.
Yeah.
And Kate was her fifth daughter. Rumor is, this isn't presented as fact in any of the sources, but rumor is that Elvira murdered all of her previous spouses and the daughters who had witnessed the murders.
God darn.
So She-Devil, pretty good nickname. Her claiming not to speak English is also ridiculous because, as it turns out, she was born somewhere in the Adirondack Mountains.
Friggin' Ma.
From the United States.
You know how Ma is like really mean to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
You know, put yourself in Ma's shoes, okay? She's a killer, right? She likes to kill. She kills, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Here she is working this stupid frickin' fruit farmer's market and these customers come in and she's like, if you have any idea who you're talking to, I'll fucking kill you right now. And that's why she's like, bitch. She's like, being a bitch to you is paradise to what I would really have urges to do to you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So take the bitchiness and take your apples and get out of here.
Yeah, totally.
That's Ma.
But
in English.
Yeah. And, to them, Johns Jr. and Sr. were just two dudes. Not related to each other, not related to either of the girls. They weren't a family, it was a ruse. This may be why some of the neighbors also initially reported that John Jr. and Kate didn't behave very brotherly and sisterly, unless they were, of course, Targaryens.
Tickle fights.
Cuddle sessions.
Spooning.
Yeah.
In the blood pit.
Yeah, probably. These people
laughing.
seem to enjoy it.
Him laughing out, just having an outburst and they're covered in blood. Ooh.
It's probably also why they were able to split up, because afterwards everybody was always looking for a family of 4 people. The two Johns probably split up and just went their own way. No one's looking for a single guy. No one's looking for a pair of women.
Yeah.
Shit. That's probably why they were able to just sort of fade off, start over somewhere else.
It's funny if they all understood Pa. Like, oh, you heard Pa. Pa said. Split it up. Oh, yeah, I heard what he said, but I just didn't believe it if he was being serious. The whole time is just this guttural. Like, you heard him. No need for attitude, Pa. I can hear you.
Well, shit, that's it. That's it for the Bloody Benders. Do you have any thoughts on the Bloody Benders? Do you have any suggestions for future Dinner in Hell topics?
Have you listened this far of the show?
Mm-hmm. Do you just like it? You can tell us that too. That's okay. We're at Dinner in Hell Pod on Twitter. We are on Facebook, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Please don't forget to rate and subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or whatever the hell app you're using to listen to this shit. Some weird Russian bootleg website. You can rate it on there, do it on there.
I use the podcast button on the Apple phone once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're on there. I mean, we're on there, but I use it to listen to all my favorite podcasts, and I rate and subscribe to them.
Hell
as well.
Yeah. That's because you're a good internet citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to the band. Boy, they sound incredible.
Thanks to this audience.
Looking good, sounding good.
Feel the love.
Thank you, and good night.
Good night.